Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the eDiscovery Channel's New Generation. Tom O'Connor from New Orleans here with Rocky Messing of Alterny, um, and still in Tel Aviv, Rocky.
Yep.
We are happy to be joined today by Holley Robinson, the Marketing Operations Manager at EDRM. Holley, thanks for joining us. Thanks for
Thank you
putting
so
up
much
with us in
for
the
having me.
pre-recording shenanigans too.
Because it would be boring if there weren't
Yeah,
shenanigans
that's right.
going on. So
So, Rocky, go ahead. You got some questions?
yeah, I got a couple questions. So Holly, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Holley Robinson, and as Tom mentioned, I'm the Marketing Operations Manager at EDRM. And what that basically means is I help produce and promote resources for the greater e-discovery community. And alongside that, I also help out with marketing at Complex Discovery and help upkeep industry resources such as Andrew Haslam's e-disclosure buyer's guide.
How did you
That's
get that?
awesome.
How did you get that at Complex Discovery? Do you know somebody there, Holley?
I
Oh,
actually
we're gonna
do,
we're
yes.
gonna get there in a second.
See, you just
Um,
won't let me talk. I'm telling
but it does mean that you get to spend your days with Mary and Kaylee, so that's pretty awesome.
you.
That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
But to go to Tom's question, how did you get your roles, and how did you end up in the e-discovery industry? Did you know
Well,
somebody there?
I did. Thankfully, it was a little bit of an interesting road to e-discovery, I'd say, but I was in college pursuing a degree and not sure what at the time. I was changing degrees. So I was just doing general, kind of finding my path there, and was presented with an opportunity to interview someone. And I asked my dad if he knew anyone, and he presented me with Doug Austin, and I was able to interview him, and he gave me more of a in-depth introduction to e-discovery and kind of what marketing looked like in e-discovery. And I really knew I liked marketing at that point, and then done some of that working with my dad a little bit when I was younger, just kind of showing me tricks of the trade. And really was like, I can see myself doing that and pursuing that. So I pursued marketing, was able to get an internship with Mary and Kaylee, which I'm so grateful for, and got in with them. They offered me a job and also doing work for my dad as well with Complex Discovery. So I'm really, really fortunate to be placed into an opportunity like this.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome. And if you're going to learn from anyone, Doug is definitely I mean
Yeah.
your dad obviously and Mary and Kaylee, but Doug is a great resource and glad that he convinced you, although it doesn't sound like it didn't need that much
Yeah.
convincing.
Yeah. Well,
So
let's give a shout out. Let's make sure we let everybody know. Who's your dad?
Rob Robinson
Thank you
of,
very
of Complex Discovery.
of Complex Discovery and Haystack ID.
much.
And
Yeah.
Haystack ID, absolutely.
An old friend of ours. Yes.
Yep. So let's ask a totally different question. What's your favorite type of cuisine?
Type of cuisine.
Yeah.
I think when I find myself cooking at home, I really lean towards Asian flavors and Asian dishes.
Hmm.
So lots of rice, fish, seaweed, veggies, vermicelli noodles. So I think I would go with Asian food. That
That
is
an
definitely a
excellent
favorite.
choice. An excellent choice. Getting back into the work side. So in your day-to-day life now, working in the industry, how is AI impacting you? So we know thoughts on the general industry, but specifically for you in your role, how does AI impact you on a day-to-day basis?
Well, in marketing specifically, I really see it impacting automation and analytics. And I know a lot of people use it to draft the messages that they send out for social media and things like that, which you need to make sure you keep the human touch on things when you're working with people. So I wouldn't recommend solely using AI for that. But if you integrate it with what you're already doing with making your materials, getting them together, getting promotional images, analyzing the engagement with that, and also automation of publishing and things like that. I really think AI can help speed up and streamline a lot of things.
Definitely a good point. And from an industry standpoint, where do you see it impacting the most right now from an AI standpoint? Because you obviously you get to deal with a lot of different companies, a lot of different corporations, law firms, et cetera, through the work at EDRM. Because you guys are an industry-wide staple. Where do you see things like really exciting from that standpoint?
Well, I've come in kind of right in Gen AI assisted doctor review, and that's the main thing I'm seeing is really people learning to how to trust the AI and really show that you can trust it and how to apply it. So I really see people being able to trust AI more and implement it to kind of carry over from like the small tasks that you don't really need to spend so much time on, little incremental things where you can go over and just review that with a human touch later to double check the facts instead of completely diminishing all human touch to it. But I really think it's going to speed up the tasks that don't need as much time.
I would say definitely true, not just probably true. That's definitely something we're seeing. Going back to the personal side, what's your go-to movie? What like when you're bored flipping on Netflix or whatever, what's that movie that like you'll always stop and watch no matter what?
Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh,
Ooh, I
nice.
like that.
I absolutely love that movie, and if y'all haven't seen it, I would
Oh yeah,
absolutely recommend it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it
Great.
is a good one. It is a good one. I do find Steve Carell in his semi-serious. I mean, Little Miss Sunshine, it's got plenty of comedy, but it's still he's semi-serious there.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. Like he does an amazing job in those. So great choice, great choice. So looking out at you're relatively new in the industry, relatively new in your working career. As you look out the next 10, 15 years, like what do you see that's exciting you? What are the things that like you're like, I can't wait until I get to do this?
Well, obviously, with the boom of AI, there's lots of new opportunities opening up for people. And I'm sure, along with that, my job will have to shift and pivot various ways. And I'm not exactly sure where that will be, but trying to find different niches to fit into with that and learning the skills to really progress. How do I see what am I really looking forward to in the future? Well, there's so many great people in e-discovery that I've met, and Mary and Kaylee have really given me an opportunity to meet these people whenever we're doing webinars and podcasts and our different authors. So being in this group of people that really love the work they do and trying to positively impact the future, like just being in with these people and with the evolving technology and knowing that people are really trying to make a difference for good, I'm really excited to be in a space that allows for that.
Yeah, and it's a great point. I think we're more and more we're hearing people say, as the technology continues to get better and the technology continues to make things automatic and just happen, you're hearing more and more people saying, "I still need that human connection, and the human element of it is the most important," which is good. Our robot overlords aren't going to be taking over that soon, so much to Tom's chagrin. But that's pretty awesome. Let me ask this. So when are outside of work and dealing with humans, what's your go-to hobby or hobbies? What do you like to do in your
Well,
spare time?
not to make my dog my personality trait, but I do go out to the dog park a lot. So as far as like going out and doing hobbies, that's a really big one that I do is I make it a point to take
What kind
him
of
and go
dog?
socialize. He's a rescue mix. He looks like a big black German Shepherd. He's about 95 pounds.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I like being out and about and being active. So when I'm not behind the computer, I am usually out with him doing some sort of activity.
That's awesome. That's
Great.
awesome. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to tell the world as we broadcast you and intro you to everyone?
I
Anything?
just want to say thank you so much for having me on this podcast. Go reach out to Tom and Rocky. They're great people. Get to meet them, and yeah, just thank you again.
Awesome.
All
Tom,
right.
anything else from you?
Um, I'm just real quick, a question. You obviously are all in on technology and AI, given your background and the people you've met, the enthusiasm you have. Are you seeing that same thing in your peers, your specific colleagues in marketing who you come across? Are people embracing it?
I absolutely do see that. I see people trying to walk the fine line between using AI and not using AI completely and making it look like AI is the one interacting with people.
Right.
So I think people are very, very carefully looking at it, but also realizing if you don't start utilizing it now and learning it now, you're going to become obsolete.
Right. Right. Great.
Yep.
Great observation. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate your taking the time, and hope that we get a lot of people looking at this and get an opportunity to meet you. I hope to see you in person one of these days at a conference somewhere.
Yep.
So thank you to everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the eDiscovery channel, The Next Generation.